Hello everyone, back with another news vlog this week. I realise I say the same thing every time. I need to change it. I'll try harder for next week for you. So let's get into it. What we got this week, I'd say the main story in the UK has to be Rect Global securing the London Call of Duty League franchise slot, which starts up next year. They're joining the likes of Chicago, Atlanta, LA, Paris, Toronto and others. And this is great to see because obviously Rec Global, the parent company of Rogue. And I saw recently, I think it was that man Adam Fitch again at Esports Insider tweeted saying that the London Ravens name has been trademarked over the past week, so it'd be interesting to see if that's actually them or if it's something else. But yeah, they've announced a coaching team, and the general manager is Swizz. And it looks like they're going to be bringing some UK talent together. We'll have to wait and see. But it's very exciting that London is going to be home to some top quality Call of Duty. A new team come in. Rect Global said it's a new chapter in the book. We're proud to represent the UK in the upcoming Call of Duty League and excited about the future this team will hold. So can't wait to see what's next and expect more announcements there. And I think they picked up like 10,000 followers on Twitter in the space of a couple of days. So yeah, exciting stuff. Elsewhere, not as great news for the League of Legends World Championships, not for UK fans or other fans anyway, who are hoping to get tickets for the finals. There's been some problems with ticket sales. A lot of fans were stuck in a queue when the ticket sales opened and were unable to obtain tickets. And the tickets, we've seen tickets go up on reseller sites for like €400, hundreds of pounds since. I mean, you're always going to get that, but I think it's the sheer number of people that were disappointed. There was a Reddit thread here of particularly, massive upvotes and a lot of unhappy people there. And Riot did say that basically people reporting that the tickets went on sale before Riot said they would. And Riot have said the earlier sale represented only a small portion of the total available tickets. It was meant for our partners who this year had to secure tickets through the ticket portal. The vast majority of tickets went on sale at the designated time. So a lot of unhappy people there. But looking at the hype of Worlds in general, Fnatic have qualified, so you've got that London representation, and they of course have British jungler Dan amongst their ranks as a substitute, and also a nice little link here. Inax, the ADC player who used to play at XL, he's qualified for the play-in stage with Unicorns of Love, and who made it through via the Russian CIS region. So good luck to Inax. Hope he does well. And yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens. But good to see someone from the UK scene getting involved at the top level of League of Legends esports. This is an interesting one. There's a top UK Hearthstone player, Ball Control, who's won like several ESL premierships and things in the past. He's come out and defended another pro player called Sacco, a German player, I believe, who was caught playing auto chess during an actual Grandmasters Hearthstone match. And he's come out, he's apologised, but he wanted to qualify for this auto chess tournament. The prize pool is $1 million, so you can't really blame the guy. And apparently he spoke to Blizzard beforehand and asked if he could switch the time he was playing at, but the Blizzard didn't accept it, basically, for the schedule to be changed. But Ball Control came out and said no rules were broken here. Should a player be allowed to play another game on camera on broadcast? Obviously not, but it's on Blizzard to prevent this. A player is simply responding to incentives from the system. Without a camera, there is no story, just another misplay. With the current Grandmaster system, you might as well quit Hearthstone if you get relegated. It's relevant to have a backup plan. And he said the people hating should be hated on the system and Blizzard more than the player. Other Grandmasters have tried far less to win Hearthstone games or are not being ostracised by members of the community. So, yeah, you can see here...
Did he not banker? He didn't banker it. What?
Sacco is clearly playing. He's clearly doing something else.
That is
not okay.
My brain just refused to accept the idea that he didn't banker the Shabala.
And, you know, the community were disappointed. They've come out and expressed their frustration in it and everything. But, yeah, there you go. Wow, almost 250,000 views on that Twitch clip. Elsewhere, looking at the League of Legends stuff, the UKLC players are going to be added to Riot's global contract database and be rewarded for good behaviour. So that's interesting. There's going to be a new European Regional Leagues player benefits programme which will unlock all the purchasable in-game content for the players on the live server. And the players will have to pass behaviour checks to get access to this and to be recognised and registered in the global contract database. And to get in there, it will basically give them the same level of poaching protections and tampering protections that LEC players receive. So that's interesting. And Riot revealed this in a post on the European ecosystem for League of Legends. This is affecting several other European regional leagues. The Premier Tour in Germany, Austria, Switzerland, the LFL in France, the Super League at Orange in Spain, and the UKLC in the UK and Ireland. So good news for UK players. And in other league news, the university tournament provider and company, the Newell, have teamed up with Riot Games again to renew their partnership, and they're going to be looking at adding more unique activities for university students. So this is exciting news for students wanting to get involved with League of Legends, getting involved with events and other initiatives. Of course, there's a routine for players in the Newell to represent the UK at the European University Esports Masters, which is great. And but champions will also win a trip to the LEC in Berlin to meet their favourite pro players and go backstage, learn about working in the esports industry, which is fantastic. So good news for university students who like League of Legends there. And finally, in our league sort of news roundup, Riot is celebrating 10 years of League of Legends. I can't believe. I remember reading when League of Legends launched, and I thought, what's this game? I've never heard of it. And then 2-3 years later, I'm playing the hell out of it. But yeah, I didn't really give it a chance when I heard the name and I saw it. Until sort of 2-3 years later, 2011, 2012, I started playing. Basically, they're going to do like a big live stream, big anniversary sort of celebration, and they've updated the logo as well, which I think looks quite nice actually. Yeah, I do like that. Yeah, so that takes place on October the 15th. And Riot have said, get your party hats and golden spatulas ready. So there you go. Yeah, it's going to be live streaming events and things like that, so check that out. There might be giveaways and things, knowing Riot, we'll have to see. Look at the top comment. Hard no from me on the modernised logo. Yeah, people are always going to moan about changes. I actually quite like that. I think that's more fitting with the style of the game. This is a little bit outdated for me, but I could be in the minority there. Elsewhere, a couple of other UK stories before we get into the global stuff. The HP Omen Challenge is going to see 5 top CSGO pros battle it out for $50,000 in London, and there's going to be 1v1 matches and 4-player death matches, and there's going to be like a sort of bespoke battle arena with 25 Omen screens and Obelisk's PCs. It's going to be broadcast via an augmented reality live stream by HLTV, so that sounds interesting. They're doing something a bit different here, HP. They've obviously thrown a lot of money at esports in recent years, and this looks like an interesting activation. It's a bit different. This bit's pretty cool. HP will be inviting 2 amateur players to battle it out against the pros for a shot at the prize money. And to support the amateur players, HP will have Pasha Biceps and Giuliano on hand, who will help prepare players for the event day, provide them with tips on how to both play and perform under pressure. So that looks pretty cool. That takes place September 20th. So yeah, a couple of days' time. If you're watching this on September 17th or 18th, 2:30 to 8 p.m. British Summer Time. So that's at the Hawley Wolf Camden in London, and that's be live streamed on the Omen by HP Europe Twitch channel. And then lastly, I did a separate video on this. Go check it out. I won't waffle too much, but basically, DCMS Select Committee has recommended the UK government ban the sale of loot boxes to children, and they've also said that they were largely positive about esports, but said that maybe in the future it should be held accountable. It should basically people should uphold esports to the way that traditional sports does, and the practices around traditional sports. So yeah, go check out a separate video on that if you look at the most recent video. Looking at the global news this week, this is a huge story. Hector Rodriguez, known as H3CZ, has joined NRG as co-CEO, and of course he was the former Optic Gaming CEO. So big jump for him. Big things ahead for NRG. He's said that the founder of NRG, Andy Miller, and Hector put out a joint statement which you can check out on his Twitter. He said, "Optic has been a significant part of my life for many years, of great respect for the Immortals organisation, and they've treated me and all of Optic players fairly during this transition period. I wish them and Optic well in the future." And of course, yeah, the news comes after Immortals' involvement with Optic's parent company. I believe I believe their parent company acquired Immortals. So obviously there's changes going on there, and Hector's obviously thought it's time for him to leave and have a change. Basically, there's no details on this story of the Immortals stuff, so I can't give you the full context. But I'm sure you can, Google that and look into the full story there. There's obviously changes going on. A quick one here. San Francisco Shock swept the New York Excelsior 4-0 in the losers bracket final to book a spot in the grand final of the Overwatch League playoffs. So, yeah, that's the latest development there. And they're going to face Vancouver Titans in the winners in the final. And large prize pool, I almost forget that. $1.1 million going to the winner, and the runner-up receiving $600,000, that's nothing to be sniffed at for second place there. So there's been quite a few stories actually over the past week over big tournament announcements and things like that. 2K is teaming up with ESL for a new NBA 2K20 Global Championship that has just under $150,000 prize pool. So yeah, that's going to consist of a number of online and offline events between October and February next year. Yeah, not a A or B tier esport, but we've got a decent UK player in NBA, but it's very US focused, isn't it? Basketball much more popular out there. And another big tournament here. Supercell have announced a $250,000 Brawl Stars World Championship for South Korea. I've been hearing a lot about Brawl Stars. It's starting to make a name for itself in the world of esports now as a mobile game. And the World Championship's going to be held November 15th to 17th in South Korea. Elsewhere, another tournament announcement. CSGO Blast announced a $4,250,000 Blast Premier 2020. Huge prize pool there. And it's getting a new format as well. It will offer $500,000 for winners of each of the two season finals, with a grand prize of $1 million for the 2020 global final. And you can see some of the breakdown. It's going to be best of threes, and it's great to see more tournaments emerging with huge prize pools. And speaking of Blast, Bahrain is going to host the Blast Pro Series Global Final. There were a few question marks on Twitter I saw when this news landed around Bahrain. Is an odd choice of destination. That's going to take place December 13th to 14th. And Blast Pro Series have partnered with the Bahrain Ministry of Youth and Sports Affairs to organise the competition. So pretty interesting. Yeah, there we go. The comments. Very nice place. They can't even have a beer after they win. Lol. They can have a beer in this country. No, they can't. Right, we're not descending into comment sections here, guys. If you want to go on there, you can have a scroll down and yeah. This was a weird one. One of my friends looped me in on Facebook when they saw this. This is on Lad Bible, so not a usual esports news website. A massive esports themed hotel packed with high-end PCs is opening next year. I mean, that looks pretty damn cool. Yeah, that's not in the UK, of course. Osaka's Nipponbashi district in Japan. So yeah, that looks really cool. Look at that, like sort of artist impression there. I could quite easily spend a whole weekend in a place like that, just chilling out. Yeah, the article's a bit waffly, but looks interesting. You know, if I go to Japan one day, I'm sure it'd be cool to check that place out. And last few stories, guys. Gears of War 5. The 2019-20 season is going to feature $2 million plus in prizing, which is huge. Gears of War, of course, dabbled in esports in the past. It's a D, maybe E tier esports or below. It hasn't really had much fanfare or interest in it, other than the sort of hardcore. We've had some good UK talent in Gears actually, but some of the UK tournaments, one-off tournaments, have had very low prize pools. So this is good to see. It's going to have 3 major open events ahead of the World Championships in July 2020. And it will feature a Pro League in North America, Central America and Europe, which will begin on October 21st. That's interesting, a European Pro League there. I wonder if they're going to have any stops in the UK or anything like that. I might reach out to those guys, see what's happening there. And Brawlhalla, which was acquired by Ubisoft, I think, last year or a little while ago now. They've announced a new tournament, a €20,000 prize pool tournament. That's going to take place November 1st at Paris Games Week. So, yeah, again, not a huge esport, but fun little game. Fun little sort of 2D fighting game, a la Smash Brothers. And we've had some UK talent in that as well. And lastly, Enthusiast Gaming has completed a merger with Luminosity Gaming. Enthusiast Gaming, they've completed a merger with Aquilini Game Co, which is the parent company of Luminosity Gaming. So they now own Luminosity, and they're going to trade on the TSX Venture Exchange from September 9th. This is an older story here, guys, so I'm a little bit late to the party with this one, but thought it was interesting, worth mentioning. So yeah, quite a lot of news this week, big announcements, acquisitions, moves. I'm really looking forward to the Call of Duty news. Rect Global taking the London slot. We had CWL London earlier this year, and that was arguably the most fun or well received esports events in the UK this year. Not in terms of numbers, we've obviously had the ESL 1 Birmingham and things like that, but the crowd, the chants, the passion. Call of Duty has some heritage in the UK, and that's great to see. London having a home and for CoD. And not just that, but they're representing the UK, which hints that this is going to be the only sort of slot in the UK for this new CoD League, and possibly will be one of the bigger ones in Europe as well, because most of the slots have been taken in different states in the US, as I mentioned earlier. So Sacco Snackos this week. I'm thinking of getting rid of this, guys. If it's getting a bit silly now, because I've gone through the kitchen cupboards and it's getting harder and harder to come up with new snacks and things. But I've got some fruit bread this week. My wife likes this, so she'll probably be annoyed that I've taken this for the purposes of this video. It's actually really nice. It's like you're having, it's like you're eating a sandwich and having an orange or tangerine or something at the same time. It's fruity. It adds something else to it. You know, it's not just bland, boring bread by itself, which I'm sure no one eats by itself, untoasted. That's it from me this week, guys. I will keep trying to do these vlogs. I might try and trim them down a little bit. Maybe focus on like the UK news and then like 3, 4, 5 max global stories. At the moment, I'm sort of trying to get through 15 to 20 stories. Let me know what you think, or if you like how long these videos are at the moment. Thanks as always for your support, and I'll see you next time.